Cure Tinnitus shows and interviews are a member benefit for members of the tinnitus healing and coaching community at curetinnitus.org, where we learn how to heal ourselves from tinnitus from people who've already done it successfully. Our disclaimer is simply that our viewers and members take 100% responsibility for their own health and actions. It's a good choice, it's healthy, and it's required for participation. Thank you very much for your time and attention. We hope you enjoy the path of liberation from tinnitus. Okay, welcome everybody. My name is Dinus Mickle. I'm the founder of curetinnitus.org, and I have Julian Cowan-Hill here with me. Julian had tinnitus for 20 years. It was severe for about 4 of them. He is a craniosacral therapist. He healed himself of tinnitus completely, and he is here to help us learn how to do the very same thing. Welcome, Julian. Hello.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you, Julian. Thank you very, very much for your time and for your dedication to our cause. Today we have some announcements about curetinnitus.org 2.0. We've got some member questions, and then we're going to go through a personal session with me, where Julian's going to do his best to talk me out of my tinnitus. And then we'll do an exercise that everyone can follow along with at the end of the show. So, the first thing is I wanted to get to, before I do I'll do the announcements now. With curetinnitus.org 2.0, we have a new course called From Tinnitus to Liberation. And it is online, and we'll be putting more information in there. And Julie and I have put that together. It's based on his ebook, From Tinnitus from Tyrant to Friend, and we will be referring to those levels in our conversations and throughout our work with the members. Another thing that we were able to put out for the launch of curetinnitus.org 2.0 is a course called the Recently Acquired Tinnitus Survival Guide. And that's for people that consider themselves as having recently acquired tinnitus, which would be, I would say, days or weeks, probably not in months. What would you call a recently acquired tinnitus person?
Yeah, I probably agree with that. Up to a couple of months.
Yeah, a couple of months.
This season, acquired it in this season recently.
I see.
And this season, it makes it sound like a fashion. But
yes, yeah, exactly. Tonight.
A couple of months.
Right, the tinnitus bug, the tinnitus fad. We're all wearing pastels. Okay, I have something so cool that I wanted to kind of get through those announcements, and we'll be talking more about the levels, and I'm sure we'll be referring to the levels as we progress with this show and as we progress on other shows. But I wanted Julian to read something to you that I think I did email this to you, but we have possibly the coolest kind of news that our kind of organization could get. And I'm going to pronounce this correctly. This comes from Edward Bell Bruno, mathematician, author, teaches at Princeton. And he was totally fine with me reading this for everybody. He sent me an email. He called me up. He sent me an email. And I'll read the content. It is not a coincidence that I saw your email. This morning, right at the time I realized my tinnitus was gone. Evidently, the universe meant for you to hear that. I was inspired to take the more holistic approach due to your website and the page I read when I got the tinnitus out of the blue in mid-May. That page is entitled, "Look After Yourself Properly and Your Tinnitus Will Take Care of Itself," and that is an article by Julian Cowan-Hill himself. Reading this page over and over was very, very helpful for me for the first few days. It motivated me to take a holistic approach, get a good diet, better approach to life, etc. Now, as I talk to my friend Maureen Higgins, who is an incredible holistic psychotherapist in Minneapolis, there's wingsoffreedom1.com, she said that tinnitus was, and she was clear, a sign that the universe was giving me that I had to change something. In this sense, she said it is a good thing, helping you out, not to be afraid of, but to embrace. So I explored a bit. I noticed that the first time my ears had an issue was May 2008, exactly 1 year ago, where a little tinnitus was there, but mainly a middle ear infection noticed after flying. Then again in October 2008 after the flu. But I noticed both of these things had two things in common: stress, plus I was giving a lecture in my field of mathematics that I haven't lectured on for many years after switching to another field. So I was very nervous, and it brought up issues of my not being as smart as I was told, not being told that I wasn't smart by my mom when I was young. She also felt that the world was dangerous. I'm hoping that I'm allowed to read this part too. I'll have to ask him before I put it in the archives. That put me on the path of being very competitive and wanting to be number one in my field. Well, I accomplished that. Right? He's got his own website. He's got paintings that he's doing. He's got mathematics books that he's published. But lately, it has gotten very stressful to do my work in such a driven fashion. So I decided to make a new approach to my work, adopting the approach that the world is wonderful, that I'm taken care of, I should work in a more fun fashion, and be more easy. This will take work, so he puts that in the future, but the realization of this was made a day ago. After I made it, the next day, the tinnitus was essentially gone. She said that this is how it works. This is psychotherapist. You have to peel away the layers of deep issues you don't necessarily see. She said a lot more, and you may want to talk to her. She definitely did wonders for me. For me, the tinnitus resolution seems to be consisting of dealing with major stress, life changes as described, and diet. I believe Maureen Higgins offers something that may benefit you and many others. Julian, how does that strike you? It's a little bit. It's long. It says a lot. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's very encouraging. As a therapist myself, I'm process quite often with my clients, and it's just lovely to hear other people experiencing the same thing. And it's really interesting how this is pointing into psychotherapy as a way to really get into the depths of one's being and to uncover and unpack some of our baggage that we all have. And when you can work back sometimes to specific issues where you learnt that you were not good enough, or somebody did something to you and you had this fearful response, and you can see that this turns into a reactive pattern that can hang around for decades. It just makes me realize how beneficial and powerful psychotherapy can be, especially when we get into the core and we can let go and release all of these learnt patterns. And anything that puts us under pressure or creates stress, fear, anxiety can create symptoms like tinnitus over a period of time. And so, it's not necessarily body-based help for tinnitus is incredibly helpful, but also working through the psychotherapeutic issues can be incredibly helpful as well. So it's lovely to hear somebody else reaching the same conclusions like lots of people, and I find it inspiring.